It's their fault,
Okay.
sir.
Now you have to love your neighbors, yeah? The writings say so. Okay. So the good part with this kind of finance where you issue shares is a permanent source of capital which would not have to be paid back. Okay. You don't have to pay back this money to the owners because they have agreed to be part of the owners of this company. Again, there is no interest that has to be paid. So if you embark on this, source of finance by issuing shares, there is no interest that has to be paid. Is that clear? Hi, good friends. Are we following?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, there is also a bit of a problem with this same source of finance. I would say it's a disadvantage. It is that the dividends are paid after tax. Okay. Whereas the loan, the interest on loans is paid before tax is deducted. So in other words, we are trying to say there is a lot that is deducted because we pay the dividends after we have deducted what? Tax already. So you know what dividends are? What do you understand by dividends? Hello, what do you understand by dividends? Colleagues, what do you understand by dividends? Okay. Are you able to hear me? Halima, you are able to hear me?
Yes, I am.
Okay. You're about to learn what dividends are. So what happens is that when you're running a company, a limited company, when this company makes profit, those people who bought shares in this company, they have also to benefit from the profit that has been made. Okay. So what will happen is that the director of finance of the company, they will declare what we call dividends. So in short, they are going to try to share this profit, among the shareholders. Okay, the people who have shares in a company, they're called shareholders. So what will happen is that these same people will come to get part of the profit. Now, the part of profit that they get is what is called the dividends. Is that clear? Hi, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
All right. That's very right. If that is clear, then we are good to go. So I was just communicating to you that, you have to make sure that the dividends are paid after tax. Then the dividends will be expected by the shareholders. This is maybe what could be one of the challenges, that the shareholders will be expecting the dividends. Like those people who have invested in the company, they'll be expecting to get something from their money. Okay. And again, the ownership of the company could change hands if many shares are sold. What happens is that when you are issuing shares as a company, right, to sell, you don't sell too much of shares more than what you have as your own capital. Okay. For example, when you start up this company, you have total capital of 60 million. Then you cannot issue the shares of 100 million because those people who have more control over the company, because they have more of, like, the capital structure of a company was highly contributed by them. Did you get it?
Yes.
Exactly. So that's about the issue of shares. So have you understood this external source of finance, which is called issuing of shares?
Yes.
Okay, great. Do you have any question?
No. So
Okay, good. Let's progress and look at the other one. The other one is called the bank loan. Obviously, you know a bank loan. What is a loan? What is a loan, my good friend?
when you borrow money from bank, like a certain amount that you want, and you borrow it from the bank and then you pay it later.
Yeah, that's very sharp. Thank you for that answer. So a bank loan, actually, as said, is a sum of money that is obtained from a bank, which must be paid, and of course, is paid on interest. Okay, it is paid on interest, and these are usually the quick to arrange. The bank loans are quick to arrange. They can be for varying length of time, but usually it's the period is usually above 1 year. So you can get money from the bank. That is a source of finance as well. Yeah. But what do you think could be the challenges with this one, the disadvantage of the bank loan?
I don't know.
You do not know.
Like
Okay.
it's hard. It's hard to pay back sometimes.
It's hard to pay back. Mm-hmm. Continue. You can go ahead.
Yeah. That's all I know.
Yeah. So a bank loan will have to be repaid eventually, and it must be paid with an interest. Okay. You have to pay an interest as well. And again, for you to get a bank loan, you need a collateral, yeah? You need a collateral or a security. Do you know what a collateral is?
No.
A collateral is a security or that thing that you give to the bank, or you promise to give in case of default, right? In case you default, in case you fail to pay back the loan, what is it that you're going to pay? So there is that time when you promise some assets, right? Those assets that you promise are called the collaterals. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, and the other challenge here is that these collaterals, you may not have the collateral of the corresponding value. So what I'm trying to communicate to you, my good friend, is that when you're dealing with the collateral, when you have this particular collateral, this collateral has to have the value of this collateral, right, is supposed to be more than the value of the asset that you have. Hope that is helpful. The value of this particular collateral is actually supposed to be more than, what you, or the money that you are asking. For example, you want 100,000. So the value of that collateral should be more than 100,000. Okay. Because if it's less or equal, you will not get the loan. Yeah. So that's what happens. Most likely it should be more than that by half or maybe twice the value of the loan that you want to get. Have you understood this, type of finance called the bank loans?
Yes.
So I've talked about two. I've talked about issuing of shares and the bank loan. This time around, let's pick a third one. Before we go to the third one, do you have any question on the bank loan?
No, sir.
Okay, we're good to go. Let's pick the third one. Is called the selling of debentures. Now, a debenture is a long-term loan certificate that is issued usually by a limited company. So let me just explain a bit on how it works. The way how a debenture works is that it works in such a way that when the company needs money, right? Of course, a limited company in this case, they can advertise these debentures to the public. So they will ask people from the public who have money. Okay, there are some people who have money, but they don't know what to do with the money. Yeah. So
Yes, sir.
they can take the money to this company and invest their money, leave the money there. So they will agree that, okay, this money that you have left here, you will get it back on such a day at an interest of this much. There is usually an interest that is promised, okay? An interest is always tied. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Exactly. So an interest is always tied. So you do that. So now the debentures can be used to raise very long-term finance. Okay. Yeah. So usually what happens is that these people will take their money to the bank, and then the bank will promise to pay back, of course, with an interest after some time. Yeah. So that's how the debentures work. So the difference between a loan maybe and a bank loan, a debenture and a bank loan, you've seen that they are all loans, right? What do you think would be the difference between a bank loan and a debenture?
Um, like bank loan is when you have to pay the money back, and then the debentures is when it's you can like repay it after like a long time. That's why it's a long term certificate. But bank loan you have to
Okay.
pay it immediately. But the debentures you have to pay it like you can pay it anytime, like in a long period of time is also okay.
Okay. Yeah. So with the bank loan, the time is usually short, not really immediately, but it's not as long as the debenture one. So what happens is that this is our company, okay? This is our company. Our company needs money. So now, when they get a bank loan, usually this one is coming from the bank, okay? But a debenture is coming from the public. You understand? It's coming from the citizens, from people, from individuals, okay? Individuals who have money, they give money to the company, they loan the company. Is that clear? So like many people bring their money to the bank, then they'll get these certificates and just like that. Did you get it?
Yes.
Okay, great. Let's consider now the advantage. The advantage of the same it could be that the debentures can be used to raise very long-term finance, just as you have said. For example, 25 years. Okay, 25 years. However, as with the loans, these must be repaid and the interest must be again paid. That is what is happening.
So what
Is
is
that?
interest exactly?
Oh, thank you. I thank you for that question. I assumed you understand what an interest is. Okay.
So I do,
Uh
but like I'm like stuck
okay.
a bit.
Okay, let me let
Is
me
it
let me
the
give it.
money that's raised? Like if you don't pay back the money, the interest is like going up and then you have to pay it. That also.
Oh, okay. I get the question. Get it like this. So this one is that since someone loans you, you loan in case of ventures, right? You loan this company money. Obviously, you don't expect to receive the exact money that you give, isn't it? For example, you give them $100,000. You do not expect to receive $100,000, yeah? You expect to have more money. The money that should be more than $100,000. Okay. That is with the sale of debentures. The money that is more than $100,000. Is that clear?
Yes.
Then when you talk about, let's talk about what's this? When you, for example, you give them 100,000 money, so you expect them to add something, okay? Maybe they should add 10% of this money, which is again 10,000. So which means you expect to receive 110,000. So this is the interest in which this is the context in which this interest is used, okay? Like the additional money. So as a company, if you decide to go for selling of debentures, just know that when you pay those people that gave you money, you're not going to pay them exactly what they gave you. No, you have to add something. Does that help?
Yes.
Okay. Then let's consider the factoring of debt, right? Like it's another source of finance. Now, just pay attention to the screen, what I'm trying to show you. Now, there is this company of yours. Let's say you are a firm, you are a company, you are here, okay? Then there is this customer of yours to whom you have stored on credit, right? And there is also a factor company, okay? There is also a factor company. My good friend, you're following?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now check. If you sell on credit, let's say a company sells on credit to a customer, maybe $100,000. Okay. Then this company does not want to go direct to this customer, okay, to go and get money direct from the customer, because obviously they know that it will waste much time, yeah? So they urgently need this money, okay? The company urgently needs the money. Is that clear? So
Yes,
what
sir.
does the company do? What the company does is that they are going to sell this debt to the factor company. So number one, the company makes a credit sale to the customer. Then number two, the company will go to the factor company. You sell to this customer, then you go to the factor company. What the factor company does is that company is the one that collects the debt, right? It is specialized in collecting debts for other companies. So they collect the debt. So you sell the debt to the companies, or you go to this company that is involved in collecting debt. You tell them that, look, there is this person who owes me, right? You tell them that, look, that there is this person who owes me, and this person owes me $100. Clear? So out of the $100 that this particular person owes me, I just need, 90,000, for example, $90,000. Okay. So please, do you have the $90,000 and give me? Okay. So the factor company, they have they'll give the money. That's number 3. They'll give the 90,000 to the firm. Okay. Then the factor company number 4 will go to the customer. Are you following? The factor company will go to the customer to get the money. Now they'll say, can you give us the money? And then the customer will pay, number 5 now, will pay the $100,000 to the firm. So that's what happens. So it's more like, as a firm, you have sold the debt at a lower price, okay? Because you are just going to get 90,000 and then you forget. You just leave those 2 of them, they'll be troubling each other, right? That's step number 4 and 5. Then you are off. As long as on step number 3 you've received your 90, you are okay. I just gave you an example. It doesn't mean that it will always be 90%. But my message that I am communicating is that it is always at a lesser fee. Eh? The amount is always less than the value of the debt. Any question? Do we have a question for that? Hello? Are you having
No,
any
sir.
question?
No, sir.
But have you understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it is well. So a debtor is a customer who owes a firm, okay? The customer who owes a firm is called a debtor. So a debtor is a customer who owes a firm money for goods bought. Then the debt factors, these are specialist agencies or companies that buy the claims on debtors or firms for immediate cash. So they buy the debts. That's what they do. But they usually buy the debt at a lower amount, at a discounted rate. Is that clear?
Yeah.
The advantage with this is that immediate cash is made available to the business. Yeah, there is an immediate cash that is made available to the business. And actually, the risk of collecting the debt becomes the factors and not the business. You know, there is a risk that is involved in collecting the debt. What if this person defaults, all those things, following them up? So you just don't want to engage yourself in such, yeah? You want things to move a bit faster, so you just sell the debt. And basically, that is what happens. Are you okay? Are you
Sir,
fine?
Sir, your voice got cut. Can you please repeat?
Okay, thank you. I was saying that the risk of collecting the debt, it does not become yours as a company. No, it becomes the factors and not for the business. So that factoring company is the one that has the risk of collecting the debt. Remember, collecting a debt is very tedious and you have to spend some resources following up the people. You know how difficult it is to follow up with the debtors. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Then the disadvantage is that the firm does not receive 100% of the value of the debt because you don't receive all the money that you actually are supposed to receive. Okay, that's one of the challenges. Have you understood the factoring of debts?
Yes, sir.
Okay, my good friend. Now let's continue and you consider the grants and subsidies from outside agencies. The grants and what? And subsidies that come from outside agencies. So outside agencies would include the government. So the government can still decide to give some grants, right? Do you know what a grant is? You know what a grant is?
Money?
Yeah, so this is the money that does not need to be paid back, okay? You don't pay back this money. Yeah, it's usually a grant. Then yeah. Then a subsidy, you know what a subsidy is? A subsidy is the money that the government usually pays to the suppliers or to the producers to lower the cost of production so that their products may not be very expensive. Is that clear? So for example, let me give you an example. Okay. Let me give you an example. An example of a subsidy is when yeah, the example of a subsidy is when there is this company, maybe it's you know, is producing a lot of goods, and the goods that they are producing are expensive, yeah, like they're just very expensive. Okay. And as these are very expensive, what usually happens is that you have to make sure that as a government, you have to make sure that these things can be cheaper so that the citizens of the country can manage to buy them. So what you do is that you have to go and pay these people who are producing something, okay, help them to meet the cost of production, pay them some money. That is what you call the subsidy. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Maybe the only challenge with the subsidy is that there are some strings attached to it, like they dictate what you are supposed to use these grants for. They tell you that this money that you have gotten, you should use it specifically for this other thing. Then the other one is basically a microfinance, which is just a small lending institution. So this is a summary actually of the external sources of finance. There is an activity here, activity 21.5, that we would want you to try at on time. We would want you to try at on time. Is that clear? Okay. Let me do this.